Welcome back to How on Earth Am I Going to Prove That Maya Wasn't the Witch Now?
And why is this trial still going?
Because we still have to figure out who killed Layton.
But I'm right here.
Can everybody calm down?
Yeah, everyone is like, what now?
Mind if I say something?
Yes,
No!
please do, right.
Well-
No, guys, that means you don't mind him saying anything.
Yeah, Barlow is like, I'm shocked. Take a hint, witness. Does it feel like this is the right moment for you to talk?
Like...
Or any moment, really.
Well, yeah, well, that's kind of why I was staying quiet until now. But... I either say it now or never. So, Tia, you're wondering why Emeer and Birdley are still here? Now you're about to find out why.
Don't simply fall silent after saying that. It only makes it weigh on my mind more. Whatever did you want to say?
The answer may surprise you, Judge.
I agree with the judge. I hate it when that happens.
I was hoping I would get a question would come in my mind if I said something.
Oi, Bluey! Yes? I need to make sure about something. Me head's not what it used to be, you know? I used
I
to
don't
be...
think that's to do with age.
I used to be a scholar, an entrepreneur. Oh wait, no, I am an entrepreneur. The alchemist butler, Lady Butler, she slipped sleep medicine into his drink. That's correct. She laced his tomato juice with it. And then she strangled the alchemist afterwards. Yes, Sir Belduke was unconscious from the sleep medicine, so he didn't resist.
And that explains why we found no signs of a struggle at the crime scene. Befuddlingly.
Yeah, about that. I let it slip earlier about what I did at the crime scene, right? I told you that, I had a few sips of that juice.
The sleep medicine makes the made sleep like a log. Yes, remember. I say, concentrating so hard.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. This is just between us, okay? You see, when I appropriated that juice...
This is using correct terms.
Just between us and the entire courtroom.
The juice bottle was, well, still unopened.
What?
Huh?
Ew.
It was unopened. Me throat was parched and I wasn't thinking straight.
When do you ever?
That brand new bottle was just there, waiting for me with a corkscrew conveniently laid next to it.
I'm gonna say that she was speaking to you.
I couldn't just let that go to waste. I swiftly pulled out the cork and got to drinking.
What?
So, in case you don't get what I'm getting at, the alchemist didn't have a single drop of the juice with the sleep medicine!
Dun dun dun.
Huh? What? What? My logic! My beautiful logic! It's in shatters! It's been shattered by Emeer! What the hell just happened?
Witness! You went to the
broke him.
trouble of opening a bottle found at the crime scene just to drink its suspicious contents!
This fucking wild man.
That's what I've been telling ya! I was dying of thirst!
That doesn't justify what you've done!
In the slightest. Objection!
I'm gonna be dying of Barnum in a moment.
Sorry, give me a second. He will find out what it means to be dying of this person in a more literal meaning.
Oh god!
However, let us not waste any more time. The witch has confessed over her crimes. There is no need to investigate Sir Belduke's death any further.
Her role in the Sir Layton incident is not entirely clear, but a person who kills her protector, to whom she owes her very life, can be nothing other than, well, a murderer, but also a witch. The court has sufficient grounds to sentence her as such.
Yeah, that is true. Like, what Emeer just said, sure, it's still shocking and everything, but now we have a confession. We don't give a shit anymore.
Belduke didn't drink the juice that night. If that's true, there's one thing here that doesn't add up. I might be able to
He still
use...
has the trickling thing.
Mr. Wright! I have to say, there's something about this that's bothering me. I'm sure there's a contradiction lurking in that man's testimony.
Yes, Luke, that's what Wright just thought.
To be fair, at least Luke didn't read in his mind.
You think so, Luke?
Can I really turn a blind eye to that? Or should I give Emeer the benefit of the doubt again?
Don't do that.
Yeah, never do that.
But this might be the only way I can prove my innocence.
Wait for the verdict.
No!
I mean, I'm just gonna be in jail a year later anyways.
Mister! You're saying you opened the tomato juice bottle. I am understanding this correctly. But that claim contradicts a certain piece of evidence. A piece of evidence that might just save the day. Thanks to Emeer again.
What?
You might want to sit down for this, Barnum.
I've done it so many times already.
Defense, I'd like a word with you.
Oh, just now?
Stop pulling things out of your ass, Phoenix.
Yes, Your Honor, but hey, they've all gone the right place. Eventually.
It's a literal, you know, four, whatever.
Fuck,
Oh.
yeah, that's the word. Anyway, at this point, your client's innocence has already been established.
Oh, shoot, that means I win.
Therefore, whether there's a contradiction in this man's testimony or not, should no longer be any of your concern.
Oh.
Phoenix, it is not appropriate to pull things out of your ass in a public space.
Especially in front of children.
No.
That may be so, Your Honor. But even though I'm here to defend the accused... And trust me, I have defended the accused quite a few times. The true duty of any attorney is to uncover the truth behind what happened. So...
Isn't that all our jobs?
Ah,
Barnum has his Edgeworth moment.
My job's not done until there are no more contradictions left. So in an interesting turn, actually, no, we technically have
Very well.
one at that point. However, Takumi has one little surprise left.
Sir Blue Knight, let us hear about this contradiction you have discovered.
The bottle was first opened by that guy, meaning Belduke didn't drink any of it. That means there's one piece of evidence that should be very difficult to explain.
Bonham's only allowing this pretty calmly because he doesn't want Emeer to be right about something.
I would like to hear about this contradiction too. The defense shall present evidence.
You think he would know at this point, Shuri, that Emeer's gonna turn out to be somehow and
I'm
once
just
again
hoping
important?
someone gets thrown in jail after
Where is
this.
the contradiction in this witness having been the one who opened the tomato juice bottle?
Between Emeer immense thieving spree,
The contradiction can be seen in one of the sketches of the crime scene.
In one of the sketches?
Yes. Have a look at this.
Have a look.
Please take a look at Sir Belduke's mouth. We can see a line of red liquid trickling down from his mouth.
Yes, well, we have already established that it was the tomato juice.
Hold on a second.
Oh! Why am I giving the orgasm dialogue?
Exactly, Your Honor. Well, I guess it shows you still can get it up despite the age. Sir Belduke didn't drink any of the tomato juice that night.
objection! Which means there's only one other possibility. That red line is, as we thought first of all, blood. Mr. Belduke must have tried to fight back the assailant and beat his tongue in doing so.
Objection! Unfortunately, that would only bring us back to the problem we encountered earlier. Quite a roundabout that way.
Earlier?
If the victim had put up a fight, then there should have been traces of a struggle at the crime scene. And yet, no such traces were found. That's what made you assume the witch might have used Famalia.
Yes, that is so.
Ah, don't you love it when your words come back to bite you?
As I explained before, Master Belduke didn't struggle at all at the time. But when I think about it now, in light of the new information, it was very unnatural.
The victim didn't drink the soporific, yet didn't struggle.
But what in the... What does this mean? If it's not tomato juice, no blood brought about for a struggle with the murderer, then what else could it be?
He drank red paint so they couldn't cover the walls.
Since it's not tomato juice, we have to assume it's blood after all. Yeah, right! It's gonna be that!
Wait, what's that red stuff there?
Yeah, why is it flashing like that?
And why does the label has a skull in it?
We have ruled out the possibility that the victim beat his tongue while struggling.
Indeed.
Then, there's gotta be a different reason for that blood being here.
There's got to be a better way.
What is Emeer's stomach made of?
I don't know, Shiroi. Something lead and titanium, likely. Also, isn't this nice? The defender, the prosecution, and the actual criminal working together to find the truth. Wait, one of those things is not like the other. If I just clarify this one suspicion, I might be able to explain the contradiction in the sketch. That's why I need to question one person in particular.
Emeer.
No.
Emeer is a common enemy.
Oh, yes. Mister,
To everything.
can I ask you something? Like I said to you, Emeer's the key to everything when you think about it. Yeah, don't give me that scary look, Bluey! I know nothing! Nothing at all! I've got nothing to tell!
Emeer's as innocent as a little lamb, but his confidence more than a sham.
Even you don't believe that, dude.
Just
Well, he literally just sung it, Pedro. Of course he doesn't believe him. He'd be better off without that bard.
do the parrot.
You drank the tomato juice that was at the crime scene, right? Don't keep asking me about that over and over again! So what if I did? Then I have another question for you. At the risk of it shattering Barnum's sanity, did anything else disappear from the crime scene that day?
Yeah, look at that thing he's got in his hand. His other hand, I mean.
It has been there for a while, actually. I think this is the beginning of the trial.
No, I didn't notice anything.
Great.
You're full of shit.
Objection! Yes, witness! Just what have you done this time? You look like a duck-hunt working in a mess of a carpenter!
Why are you looking at me like that?
I feel like Tio's channeling his energy about this through Barnum.
And sleep deprivation.
I don't know about anything going missing. I'm innocent. Please, believe me.
Truth could drown in his streaming eyes. Some tell lies, while others cannot tell lies.
That is not helping his case. Looks like my gut feeling was right. He took something from the crime scene. Again.
Like he always does.
Well, he didn't in the first courtroom case.
That's because he wasn't there.
Well, he was there, but he was like the last.
How did he manage to sleep past the Inquisition all this time and never get arrested for all this thievery?
That's a secret to you. He's always drinking.
What on earth did that man steal from the crime scene?
Isn't this fun? Guess what Emeer stole? A certain item disappeared from the crime scene that day.
Okay, this I actually forgot. It's probably visualizing one of the sketches.
And at this very moment, it's high likely that item is right in front of our very eyes.
Ah, okay. What? It's here?
Isn't that right, mister? Is it? I have no idea.
Defender! I order you to show us what this item is!
Yeah, even the judge is sick of everyone's shit.
The item that this witness took from the crime scene! Do it now!
His mustache.
Got it! It's this bottle!
Oh, there it is.
The bottle?
Miss Greer, I'd like you to clarify something for me.
What would that be, Mr. Wright?
Murderer says what?
Sir Belduke was working on creating certain medicines.
I was sure that would work.
He had various dangerous substances in his possession as well. How were they stored?
Master kept them in a locked medicine cabinet. The bottles were labeled so that it was clear that they were dangerous. They have all been confiscated.
As for those labels, did they resemble the label on that guy's bottle?
She noticed that just now?
Mister, what are you doing with a product of Master's research?
It's not what you think. I didn't have any evil intentions or nothing.
Stealing is pretty evil to me, my dude.
That bottle belonged to Master, and it was used to store strong poison. Poison strong enough to kill.
Poison?
What?
The red liquid trickling down Sir Belduke's mouth was definitely blood. Now as for what caused him to bleed like that from his mouth...
And trust me, this isn't the first time someone's been poisoned in front of me.
I was nearly poisoned by my ex. It was the deadly poison from the bottle this guy stole from the crime scene.
This is outrageous!
Oh yeah, just a reminder, Phoenix did survive chewing glass that may or may not have the residue of Dahlia's poison in it.
Just be prepared of jumping off a bridge soon enough.
What? Whoa, wait. Do you expect me to just keep quiet? It was poison! Poison? And am I gonna die?
Objection! We cannot hope in miracles, you know. Just wait and see. Time will tell. We're waiting in anticipation.
I guess. How could you be so heartless?
More importantly, I want to know why you have that bottle.
Well, that's, Remember how I told you I drank the alchemist's tomato juice?
Indeed. It's not something easy to forget, especially having heard it several times.
Turnabout Serenade summed up in a nutshell.
Well, that was when I saw it on the floor. This bottle right here. Hey, just like with the golden arm. It was totally empty. And I thought, you know, it was such a fancy looking bottle and all.
Okay.
Maybe there was some residue in the poison left over and that's why he is the way he is now. I'm a bit of a skull fancier. They have this air of danger about them, right? You know what?
This man will not pass the first test at the Darwin Awards.
They certainly do. So, since it was there and I was there too, I felt like we were kinda meant for each other. What are you, a pirate? I thought this bottle's so classy, I could die for it.
Literally.
And now you will.
You're the kind of person who drinks clear liquid in a science lab thinking it's
You
water.
probably eat Tide Pods in recent times, Shiro.
Had any poison been left in the bottle, you would have died instantly. But if it was empty, it was probably harmless.
Oh, hear that? I'm gonna live! Good thing I rinsed it well before use. Isn't that great, Barnum?
But if the victim was killed by poison, that raises a new question, of course.
Why is he not in jail already?
Who could have poisoned him?
Oh yeah, that too.
She was poisoned by poison.
You think? Considering all the evidence and the testimonies we've heard today, the answer is so close, I can taste it. Just sit there a bit more tight, Maya. I'm about to solve the case fully.
Oh yeah, this is about Maya, you know.
Remember though, Maya at this point is in the clear. What we're trying to do is find the real truth. Sir Belduke
Poisoned by
here.
Emeer.
Can you imagine? Poisoned by him.
Emeer did it.
Can we just throw him in the fire anyway?
It was, of course, Sir Belduke himself.
Shiro, are you proposing murder?
I don't know, am I?
I'm proposing justice.
Sir Belduke took that poison of his own will. His death was suicide!
Dun, dun, dun.
Objection! That is preposterous! A suicide? Inconceivable!
Hey, he finally said it! Objection! Think about it, Inquisitor. That would explain the most unnatural aspect of his death.
That he died. The most unnatural aspect. Yeah, he just said that.
Aside from Emeer or anything involved, Miss Greer, when you were strangling Sir Belduke, he put up no fight whatsoever. Is that true?
Yes, it is. Until today, I was convinced it was due to the sleep medicine.
It wasn't, because he didn't take any. The truth is, when you gripped his throat, Sir Belduke was already dead. He had poisoned himself. This is one thing I can appreciate for Takumi. For as much time as he likes to write great tragedy, he does know when it's essential to write in mercy, per se. Like, Grey Arrow has had an absolute crap time here and there, so it's nice that she's at least absolved of the idea that she actually killed her own master.
Yeah, but there's one thing she's not absolved of, though.
We'll get to that later. I can't just tell them that it happens on TV all the time.
She did attempt to murder him, though.
Well, Shiroi, the biggest crime is when you actually murder someone and being a witch.
In the course of his research, Master Belduke found a way to extract that poison.
What am I hearing? Is there really such a dangerous plant in Labyrinthia?
The poison is very bitter to taste, so it would be impossible to secretly slip into someone's food or drink. And it would cause internal damage. It is a very powerful poison. Drinking it would endure a most painful death.
To think Sir Belduke could...
Does Sir Belduke really choose such an agonizing death for himself? It doesn't seem like he suffered that much, well, aside from being dead, obviously.
I would like to know that too.
Miss Greer.
You mean to say Master killed himself after exposing me as a witch? I cannot believe it! He just wouldn't commit suicide!
He's trying to keep
Why
getting better and
did
better.
you commit suicide? Why?
Indeed, we cannot take such a theory at face value.
You do realize you're agreeing
Why
with
did
the
you
witch,
do that?
right, Barnum?
Why did you do this, Sir Belduke? Why? Why did you commit suicide?
Had he committed suicide, I dare say he would have left a suicide note.
Not.
I can't help you out of this one, Sir Belduke.
Oh, I mean, you're
He's
dead
already
now,
dead.
so-
I don't think he cares.
I can't say
Yeah.
why Sir Belduke committed suicide, but
Well,
I think there's a piece of evidence that can confirm his suicide was a possibility.
that's what I always say when we watch that scene. Like, I can't help you out of this one, Jim. Yeah, no shit, Neil. No shit.
There is a piece of evidence like that.
Mm-hmm.
Dot, dot, dot. If you have such evidence, you ought to present it to the courts immediately. Present the evidence indicating that Sir Belduke's death could have been suicide.
Layton statue. Oh, wait.
That would be a twist. Take that!
Emeer.
That's Sir Belduke's letter.
We cannot present profiles anymore, Sheer, apparently.
Actually, I think you can, but there's never a
They're
point
never
when
used,
that's used, so yeah, it's kind of like, it's there, but why? This is the last letter written by Sir Belduke before his suicide. And that means that this letter may well be his suicide note.
Objection! What we have here is nothing more than blank sheets of parchment.
Do we? Is that really all it is?
Whether or not there was a suicide note is something we can only speculate about. Remember, we established before that Jean took the letter for herself and replaced it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. But there is one person who knows whether this letter was really a suicide note. The storyteller himself. Let's get him to testify.
You mean
Oh,
the
God.
person who swapped its content?
Oh, right,
Just
that
ask
person
Dawn to the
too.
courtroom.
In our words, please be true. You, Jean Greyer.
Dun dun dun.
Witness, you stole Sir Belduke's letter on the night of the crime. Tell us, what was written in it? Well? Well, are you going to stand there, mouth agape, or are you going to tell us?
I don't know.
Lamau XD, Fax DCT.
What? You don't know?
You don't know yet.
I did steal the letter, yes. But I don't know what its contents were.
You mean you have not read it?
Well, I couldn't bring myself to read it. It seemed that if I did... everything that had happened since Master Belduke saved my life would be ruined in an instant. I've taken it out and held it in my hands many times, but no matter what, I couldn't.
Miss Grail.
It's a hard time for everyone. Can you tell us where that letter is now?
I ate it.
Why?
Because I wanted my master's final words to be with me. I think I took it a bit too literally, though.
You could have just framed it.
Frame it for everyone to see. Yeah, that's a great idea.
I have it
Right in the
here.
hallway.
Again, surprisingly, she hasn't burned it instead.
Probably a mix of guilt and honor. You're carrying it around with you? If you were searched, you would have been done for.
That's a good point, actually.
That night, having killed Master Belduke, I decided to stay in his residence. I knew my identity would be revealed sooner or later, and I was ready for it. So, until that time, I decided to always keep the letter with me. My lord?
Yes, witness.
If you don't mind, could you please read it aloud?
Story time with Judge Yaji.
Today we're reading a suicide note.
And if you can, please
Welcome
read
to
it.
CBB's bedtime.
Please read it in Jim Dale's voice.
Hold it!
I was gonna read it.
Miss Grey Earl,
Hold on, I'm voice now.
I think you should be the one to read it.
Oh, I don't get to do the CBB's bedtime story.
Sir Belduke wrote this letter to the storyteller as he was preparing to die. I think it's only right his last words should be read by you.
I'm not sure I follow that logic, Phoenix. So.
I think it's to try and help give...
I see.
I think it's to try and help give her some direct closure.
I understand. Please allow me to read the letter aloud.
No, guilty.
I mean, she's already guilty. Might as well give her this before you burn her.
My dear friend, I hope you will be able to forgive me for leaving this world of my own will. I have finally made this decision, having seen that accursed bell tower
appear in the flames on that dreadful night. That lightning was a sign that we have angered the gods. What I have done cannot be forgiven. I can never escape from it. For the past few days, I have been thinking that it might be best to simply expose everything. This town's secret, the truth about the witch. Of course, I understand that secrets need to be kept. However, I have grown very tired. I'm afraid I cannot keep the secret any longer.
But hey, you'll be reincarnated in Final Fantasy
I was
XIV.
about to say, Dreams, maybe this was what Urianger was doing between Stormblood and Shadowbringer, so...
Exactly, but wait, how come you had a different voice to start with, though?
Remember, well, whatever.
Probably doesn't think of me as her father.
Oh.
The daughter.
Get the hint, Phoenix.
I was not aware that Sir Belduke had a daughter.
Get the
Okay,
hint on him.
everyone needs to get the
Mr.
fucking
Belduke
hint.
seemed to know a lot about this town. This town's secret, and the truth about the witch.
Truth about the witch. Somehow I don't think he was talking about Miss Grey Earl.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Belduke may have had a hidden
matter
daughter
weighing
somewhere.
heavily on my mind is that Jean will be left on her own.
Turns out I really did love Jean.
Seeing
Even
her
though I'm
grow
killing
up,
myself
so
leaving her
strong and
alone.
Righteous in defiance of her fate had given me hope. A short while ago,
It's a complicated matter, Jovah. Sometimes it defies even the logic of, wanting to love someone.
It is, unfortunately.
there are so many things I wanted to tell her, but I could only manage a thank you. She is a very sharp child. Had I said any more, she would have caught on. You could call me a selfish man, but I didn't wish my last memory of her to be a sad one.
Master Belduke. If the fate handed to her by this town has made her life an ordeal until now, I hope from the bottom of my heart that a wonderful story awaits her next.
Yeah,
About
that.
Introduce my residence to her. And I would
Should
like
we
you
tell
to
her
look
that
out
the
for
story
her.
teller is planning to bring Labyrinthia's story to an end
Yes.
soon?
It is time for me to put my pen down, my dear friend.
But yeah,
What I
there you
truly
have
wish
it.
to express to
Belduke
you
truly
is
did
too
love
complicated for
Jean
words.
and whoever his daughter is,
I hope
but
one day
due
you'll
to an
understand.
unfortunate bout of misunderstanding
now, I
and
bid you
circumstances, tragedy
Time has come for me to
began
go.
tragedy.
This letter. It wasn't a denunciation of me being a witch.
Master Belduke cared about you until the very end.
Yes, how could I have forgotten?
I love this trial. It's so fucking miserable.
Yes.
Yeah, I
It's
love
like that scene from
misery.
Star Trek Next Generation with Data. This is revolting. Give me more.
Yes, actually.
And now,
sure.
we have
It's
finally
fucked up, but I
come
love
to
it.
the end of this tunnel.
Miss Grail.
So it
Not
turns
sure,
out, aside from just planting the staff in front of Maya and stealing the letter, Grail technically didn't do anything wrong.
My lord,
What is it?
Grail did nothing
I
wrong.
want to end it on one. I want to end the trial, but on the other, this is very awkward.
It's like episode 25 of Yokai Watch, but
I
it's small.
think it is about time. I need an aspirin right now for the guilty verdict.
At least he's taking the fact that he lost this trial well.
You were gonna say
Guilty?
something, Pedro?
Hold on.
The Inquisition withdraws the charges against Maya Fey
Still no confetti, damn it.
and charges Jean Greyer with being a witch.
Well, yeah.
Hmm.
He's like, oh shit, I forgot about that.
All the evidence corroborates this accusation, and she even admits her guilt.
This is another reason why this is my favorite case in the game. With Jean, you actually really do get how crap it is about being a witch. Like, Kira, yeah, her life supposedly
it's
sucked.
literal racism, so...
Yeah. Wait! Not so fast, Inquisitor Barnum!
What do you want now, Sir Blue Knight?
Admittedly, Miss Grail did attempt to strangle Sir Belduke,
That's not what he's saying, mate.
but he had consumed a deadly poison and was already dead at the time.
Phoenix, you listen less than I do.
Therefore, she is not guilty of murder.
She is guilty of attempted murder, though.
And
We
one
don't do
more
that here.
thing. It also wasn't Miss Grail who turned Professor Layton into gold.
Yeah, we never brought up that. I'm surprised Barnum didn't use
He
that.
was actually
to
Yeah, he's
accuse
still
Maya.
Actually, we did mention that beforehand, but Barnum had admitted at that point that we had proven that it wasn't Maya either. Because remember, Grail produced the Telea Magica, so unless Maya just made her Telea Magica disappear, she would have had no way to turn Layton to gold. Miss Grail didn't kill anyone.
Phoenix, that's not what he said.
Yeah, she didn't kill anyone. And yet, you still want to burn her?
Now, while it may come off as a bit repetitive, what I do like is that this one gives us someone who is actually sympathetic, who is unfortunately still a witch. Like, here's the thing, with Kira, yeah, sad and all, but she was kind of a murderer. Well, not kind of, she literally murdered 2 guys, supposedly for good causes, but she was still cackling mad and insane a lot of the way too. With Jean, though, yeah, no, she does not deserve this.
It's like everyone's against you and it's super frightening. I'm not a witch.
And yet, you literally have me locked in a cage. Wait, that is the story of Maya's life.
But I've been thrown into this cage and almost sentenced for something I didn't do.
Maya,
Again, she right.
is that really any different from how most of our lives have been?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the defendant's tent is not a cage back home.
The prisons back home are at least a little bigger. Jeez, this is a bird cage. And now you're about to do the same to another person? That's not right.
Would you rather it be you?
I mean, no, but I mean,
Then shut up,
but,
then.
you know.
Again, Sheila, remember the last time we tried taking all the misery out of a story? Look how that turned out, so...
Is
Yeah,
that
no.
all you have to say?
Make me miserable. Huh?
One who's in the wrong is not me, but you, Sir Blue Knight.
Yes, you're.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
you. Whether the witch committed a crime or not is completely irrelevant.
Yeah, you weren't listening, were you?
This is the witch's court. All witches must be
Yes.
punished by
It's
fire.
the witch's court. What court did you think we were in?
But that's crazy.
You already seen it earlier, didn't you?
It's still crazy.
Why? Why, Barnum? It's the
Because
third
that's
case!
his fucking job!
But usually this is by the point where the prosecution sees the error of their ways.
Phoenix, it's in his name.
Inquisitor Burnham is absolutely right. Being a witch is a crime. You understand that, don't you, Miss Grail?
Damn you and your dedication to your name.
Yes.
She's
Don't worry,
literally
we'll have
crying.
And
We'll have it-
shaking.
We'll have it extra hot for you.
How is that
Very
supposed to
well.
help?
It's cozy.
faster. It's faster. The court is ready to issue the final verdict. Maya Fey is found innocent, and in her place, Jean Grail is found guilty of being a witch and shall be cast into the fire.
Can we at least leave before we have to see it?
The press.
Maya, you see people have the death penalty where you
Yeah.
are.
Oh, I think it's a joke.
Nope.
That was
It's
a spell.
Oh,
Verdict.
For God's sake.
Ooh, a new theme. Okay.
yeah, this is new.
Yep.
Espella.
What is it now, Espella Cantabella?
Yeah, Barnum really needs that answer right now.
I just want to go to bed.
There is nothing else we can do. This is the course of things, and you should know it well.
Hey, Emeer, can I borrow that bottle from you for a
I've
few
trial
moments?
enough times.
All witches shall be cast into the flames.
Yes, that's
And that
all of them.
is the law of this town. A law that was written by your very own father.
Well, it's a stupid
And
law.
furthermore, a law
Yes,
that has
Jasmine,
always
it
been
is.
obeyed in the town of Labyrinthia.
Well, you're all stupid too.
A town like this should never exist in the first place.
Ooh. Going against scripture, are we?
Insolence.
She's going off script.
My father can't write for shit.
Heresy! She's criticizing the storyteller's story!
My father can't write for shit.
We're sentenced to
Damn.
death by fire. I shall make sure
Nobody
this
tell her
is the
about
last
Reddit.
one.
She'll have a field day with that.
What do you mean,
See,
Espella?
Espella is right there with you with the whole end this
Since you're
misery
also
thing.
keen on the rules created by the storyteller, you should know exactly what I mean.
Uh-oh.
The stipulation for ending the witch trials. Once the Great Witch Bazella is burned, the witch trials will end. At present, I am under suspicion. You know very well why that is, don't you?
You? Well, you don't mean that you're,
Uh-oh. Don't.
I am guilty.
We
Real-
already did this at the end of the last case.
We'll tackle this at the end of the part. For now, let's just watch the scene play out.
Now, cast me
Although,
into the
yeah,
flames
Spell actually
and let
does
me
have
set free.
attorney posing sprites. That's interesting.
Miss Canterbury.
We said all witches. We're gonna burn Grail later then.
No. You see, with Bazella burned, then I guess witches are.
I get the
off-
idea behind this, but the rest of the witch's power should dissipate and possibly
What are
become
you saying?
effective.
I can't
I'm
let you
guessing
do
that's the idea.
Please, Mr. Wright, let me do as I wish. I'm sorry, but this is a problem concerning the people of Labyrinthia. No! Please don't do it! There must be another way! You don't need to do this. It's all right, Luke, Maya, Mr. Wright, and Mr. Layton. I truly appreciate.
Layton's dead, you know. You're Wait, Espel, I just want to remind you that this golden guy next to me literally died trying to prove you innocent.
Parading corpse.
She shakes the hand of the statue.
Will have very serious, or rather, fatal consequences for you.
You don't
Yeah,
say!
it's fine.
May we assume that you fully understand those consequences and are willing to accept them?
Hey, as her defender, don't I get a say in this?
Nope.
No.
No, apparently not.
She kicked him off the stand.
Cantabella, the storyteller's daughter. But I also have another name. I am the
Mandy.
great witch Bezella.
My father hates
I
me.
have lived hidden
So, what if it turned out
with
she
my
wasn't
father's
Bazelle and
Now
they
she
ended up
will
burning
understand.
her? Would her father then just, like, you know, cause the apocalypse in anger? Or would he just write, and then a spell arose again on the 7th day?
Court attendants, seize that woman. She is.
Well, at least Grayo won't be burned.
So do we put air in the cage now?
Put
Yep,
them both in.
we're
You got two
literally,
cages. Oh,
we're
you
literally-
get an anime cutscene.
yep, we're going to swap in one Bernie
We're
for the
going to be
other.
more theatrical.
Espella.
Don't worry, it's 600 degrees. It won't take a minute. I think it's 600 degrees.
Hope you like marshmallows.
And so then Maya goes, you know what? Screw this.
Espella, this just isn't right. Let's go. Nick, give me a hand.
Well, fine. I might as well do something.
Jump over there.
I'm not Lara Croft.
Dan ben je weer monden.
Well, shoot.
We're back at square one.
Hey, are you even looking?
Hey, that guy just decides to throw the lever because...
Well, okay, he assumed the spell was still in the cage, but yeah.
Maya, what did you think would happen?
Quick, in here.
Oh, hey Luke, you just found that secret passage, I see.
Yeah, we'll say things. What happened?
I guess Luke disappeared from there, but yes, unfortunately, instead of a spell or Jean, Maya goes for the dip.
Well, again, what does he think would happen?
So Maya just wasted everyone's time.
Well,
Explain that to Pearl.
okay, you're right.
Okay.
It was not Maya who wasted everyone's time. It was a spell who wasted everyone's time. Go ahead,
I'm
Pedro.
Yeah, but yeah,
Well,
go.
to give credit where credit is due, Trevor White was actually good in that scene.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I was gonna say, like, no. For all the norm he has, that was definitely one of his great moments.
Your friend died. Have some money.
It's not even tangible.
All I have are these picarettes to remember her by.
Well, okay. Aside from the whole, I'm not going to talk about the whole thing that you just mentioned about Espella because I know you guys will do it for me. What I wanted to say about Espella, okay, see, here's the problem about how they write, how Hino and Takun went about creating Espella. They committed one of the more common failures a writer commits, where they try way too hard to make her nice and likable, and basically give her no flaws whatsoever. Let's compare her to Maya for a moment, since that's, Maya has character flaws. She's sometimes she's a bit violent. Sometimes she has a big appetite, and sometimes does things without people permission. All that shit. That's what makes her have more spice to her as a person. But Espella is, of course, and I can tell what they're going for. They're going for the typical nice girl anime trope. The problem is they go so overboard with it to the point where they try so they want you to like Espella, but the only way they seem to want to do that is by just making her the most noble, self-sacrificial person ever made, to the point where she's just so like unreal and unbelievable that it's just like this doesn't feel like a proper person. She feels like a stereotype. Like she doesn't feel like a real person because she's way too perfect.
If I may,
she's way too nice for her own good. They don't give her any character flaws whatsoever.
If I may, Espella feels like more so a character befitting of, like, a side character in either Ace Attorney or Layton. Instead of being not just, the main assistant/defendant, but is quite possibly literally the entire linchpin to this plot here. So, again, like I mentioned, when we first meet her, you know what? She's fine. Can understand why she's a fish out of water. And she does help us out the first bits in Labyrinthia. No, the problems are that as soon as it comes close towards the end of, Chapter 2, the Fire Witch, that's when Espella starts her running tangent bit of needing to sacrifice herself, because she is just that good and pure.
Yeah.
And look forward as other people will call her strong-willed and all that. Strong-willed and all that. Now, okay, I will say this. Without spoiling, technically, no, it's kind of hard to look on the bright side, seeing as how Espella kind of indirectly is the reason that Maya got burned bad.
Not to mention, she does this all the sodding time. It gets really annoying.
Now, I know some people will say, oh, but what about what happens later? I will say this. Despite what happens later, Espella did not know that would happen as a result. What that is, I can't spoil.
See, this is what me and Jovah usually mean when we say that make your characters complex, not necessarily likable. Because again, this character, because Espella is just super duper ultra perfectly nice and with no negative qualities to her at all, she just comes across as just an artificial doll that doesn't really feel like a real person. Here, let me use a brief comparison for a game we recently. We all talked about in our commentary that we liked the side characters of Life is Strange 1 a lot better than the leads. One problem Life is Strange True Colors has, even though I do think that game is okay, it does have its problems. One of the problems it has is the side characters are not as good because they're way too nice and perfect, and as a result, nowhere near as memorable or interesting. Again, it's a problem where the writer's trying way too hard to make sure we need people to like Espella, so we can't possibly have her have any kind of selfish desires or anything, because people might. Again, the writers seem insecure about how they're going to make you like Espella, so they make her super perfect and nice and super self-sacrificial. See, she's willing to sacrifice herself to save all the witches. See. They're trying way too hard with it. And this is not how you go about it.
The problem's definitely starting in with the fact that Espella is pretty much the main motivation for the characters to be doing what they're doing. So, someone on the writing team thought, okay, let's just make her absolutely the focus here and there, which... Okay, the weird thing is, Takumi has written plots where one particular character is a linchpin and stuff, but he's never... botched a job like this. Okay, to be fair, to say he's botched a job at this stage in the story with Espella would be maybe overextending a bit. Don't get me wrong, this moment with Espella is bad, but at the very least there will be some reflection on it. No, believe it or not, this is actually not Espella's worst moment. Oh, that is yet to come. But this is definitely a taste of what's to come in store. Tio, I believe you also had something to say?
Not really, but if you're wanting my opinion on the matter, I really don't have a problem with this fella, to be honest.
That's fair.
Sure, I guess you can say about the fact that being excessively, trying to be nice might be at fault here, but I don't think that's inherently a wrong thing to begin with. The only thing that's missing to me is that she probably should have done just more. Make her, similar to in this trial, make her also still part of Phoenix Entourage and helping during the trial as well. But
she did actually. She was actually helping out quite a bit during the trial, too. Remember, she's the one who finds the Godor spell, helps clue us in on some stuff here and there. Though for the
honestly, rather than, more than being nice, quote unquote, her actions to me resonate as being more logical. The idea that even despite the craziness of the town, if the problem is cut at the root, the madness might be ceased. Regardless of what happens.
The one issue,
say what about potentially also being selfishness due to the excess of being nice to a fault, but I think she was having the right idea, because I get the feeling that if things had continued the way they did, she would still be accused anyway without Phoenix having finding a way
I get that too.
Actually, finding her innocent.
I do get what you're saying too. I was talking more in terms of her actual personality. She's about as interesting as a wood boy, because she has her personality
I've seen
is
worse
just
Saturday
nice.
characters on similar occasions.
If you're talking about Espella, she's fine.
Okay.
No, my problem is that she's fine, but fine. That's not like the goal of a writer should not to write a character that is fine. You should be to write a character that's multi-layered.
Okay.
And she is literally just super nice and nothing else. Go on, Joe.
I will say this: Espella is by no means the worst character Takumi has ever written for. There are worse characters. However, the reason that she is definitely one of my least favorite that Takumi has ever written is because that she holds a special role that she needs to fulfill. That is being, well, again, the pseudo-assistant / defendant and linchpin character of here. Whenever a character like that has been made by Takumi, he usually knocks it out of the park. Like, let's just imagine if Maya literally was just about of constantly blaming herself and trying to, sacrifice herself because she feels guilty in the first game. That would get old pretty quick. Again, Espella doesn't start off with it, but it does get old here and there. Like, here's the thing. Espella is technically fine, but for a character of her role and standing, I do feel like we needed something more than fine. That said, okay, if we don't take into consideration the fact that she hasn't really gotten to do much else, I actually would not mind this scene as much. No, Tio does raise some good points about how this could be logical. My issue from where it is as it stands, though, Espella, what if it turns out you're not the Great Witch Bezella, and, well, somehow the town can tell that? That would kind of make your sacrifice pretty pointless, is kind of my issue with her line of thinking here and there. Not only that, but it kind of does spit in the face of all the work everyone's been doing to help her as well. Like, what I would have given for her is at least a sign showing that she is struggling with the idea here and there. Like, it wouldn't have been too much, but it would have been something more. And
sorry, I thought you were done. Go on.
And, again, mind you, this is not her worst moment, so there is some room for doubt here. But no, by the end of the plot, this is kind of a lot of her character, and it doesn't get much better from here. Make it that much.
Let me put it this way when it comes to her personality. To me, she feels like the polar opposite extreme of what we talked about with Chloe in Life is Strange, where in Chloe they're trying to make her, an incredibly flawed character, but the overall execution and writing doesn't really make it work. This is the polar opposite, where the writers are so afraid that you will not like her, and because they need you to like her in order for the story to work. They're so afraid of the audience not liking her that they refuse to give her any kind of possible personality flaws.
And maybe
that's partly why I don't like her.
Oh, exactly. And you know what? Maybe
Exactly.
she would. Maybe she would have more to her character if she got to do more instead of being, usually holed up in a cell or just kind of whimpering about this or that.
There's that too. Her lack of agency doesn't help Peter. Here, let me use an example. When you write super nice characters in media, usually you give them a flat character arc. For those who don't know, it's like let's use Layton as an example. Layton is a super nice character with not really any personality flaws. The reason Layton works though is because Layton is a character that changes the people around him. Again, like Goku, the reason characters like Goku and Layton work, despite being super nice and devoid of any character flaws, is because they change. It's not about them necessarily. It's about how they change the world around them. Spella's not really doing that. She's just, she's the character we have to save for X, Y, and Z. And when you do that, you would need to give her some more of a personality than this, because it's really hard to care about Espella to the point of wanting to save her and everything. Go on.
I will say this, At this stage of the game, I wasn't at to the point where, like, oh, I'd rather Espella be dead or whatnot. Like, no. She is nice enough that I can understand her reasoning here. Again, my thoughts on her at this point in the game are just a culmination of my annoyance at her lack of agency, mixed with how, yeah, it feels like she's kind of done more harm than good with her decision to try and turn herself in, essentially. Now, mind you, again, what we will get of this point is some great story work. Not necessarily, well, okay, you know what? Partly for Espella. I will give her credit where it is due, and I won't let my feelings about knowing where things are going to go affect my overall judgment on the plot as it goes. That said, anything else anyone else wants to say, or shall we move on to the next part?
I think I'm fine for now.
Dibs, Tio, Shiroi, any last things? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
I guess
Again, I said what I had to. If I had to add anything, as controversial as it might be, I think Maya jumped the gun. It is in character for her, technically speaking, sure, but again, despite all what you just said about Espella, you know, everyone is responsible for their own actions, and that includes Maya too.
I can definitely agree with that, and like you said, it is in Maya's character, which, you know what? I don't fault that about the scene. Like, you know, it's a gutsy move, but it is in character.
It's also part of the game, again, not knowing much how to do with Maya, considering she doesn't have any of her traditional abilities that she has in the game. So we need the character to do something about it.
That is kind of an issue in and of itself, but for the sake of it, no. You do raise a good point that, no, all the characters did make their choices. Phoenix and Maya chose to intervene. Well, more so Maya. Phoenix kind of just got dragged into it, like he does most stuff, but he made his choice, dang it. And Luke!
But at the very least, this concludes the Golden Trial, and Barnum can get his fucking aspirin.
Well, maybe not. He's probably going to figure out... He probably needs to figure out how the hell Luke found a secret entrance in the flipping court.
Sitting on a corner on Dark Souls' lap, and just saying, I'm supposed to be the High Inquisitor. And Dark is like, yes, we do, don't worry.
Are there even aspirins in Labyrinth?
Well, hey, Bell... Yeah, I mean, there was an
Well,
alchemist, and...
Well, the alchemist fucking died. So...
Well, maybe we could look through that medicine that was confiscated of his.
Alright.
Alright, see you for the next word.